All right, so this is part three of three, 5 levels of leadership. I titled this Discovering the Leader in Me, because that's really what it is. It's an invitation to all of us to discover the leader that there is within one of us. I think many of us over time, I think if there's anything we learn here is that over time, we've kind of waited for leadership positions to then develop our leadership skills. And I think the message that I'm hoping above everything that comes across during this three-part presentation is that leadership is not about position, ranks, or titles, but leadership is about other things. And one of them being influence, the influence that we have on others as we seek to connect with them and to help them develop and be successful in the areas that they work in. Hence why we are leaders to the properties that we work with, even the applicant that we don't interact with. We can show forth leadership skills in those areas that we don't necessarily directly interact with them. I had a really exciting phone call with one of our clients, and it kind of went online with the previous week when we talked about the fact that our business is people and that our success is influence. And I know I shared this quote in writing with you, but I want you to hear a little bit of the interaction that took place when he said what he said. So just pay attention to this.
Yeah, well, I don't want to keep you unless you want to stay. And if you want to stay, I'll stay with you.
Nope.
But this is a huge honor. The feedback is incredible. I'm gonna share. I hope you don't mind. I shared that with the team that is working with you guys, and also ask them to keep it up. And again, we're not perfect, but I think something you're gonna find is we're always gonna be perfectly trying to. And I know that sounds almost like a slogan, and it is a slogan in our family. It kind of carry on to prefer. We're not perfect, but we're going to perfectly try it. And if something goes wrong, we're going to be found perfectly trying to fix it. You can count on that with us.
The way I put it is you guys have heart, which matters. You guys care, and it shows. And that's kind of that's I think goes from you on down through your organization to people like Carrie. So. When you have heart, when you care, you're not afraid to make a mistake. You're not afraid to own your mistake. And you get to sleep easy at night because you're not afraid of anything. You're doing a good job. You're seeing things that need to be done, and you're reacting, and you're doing it. You're working hard. You're admitting when things get a little sideways. You're asking for help when you need to. But at the end of the day, you care. You have heart. It's not just a job. It's a little bit more than that. And that shows.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
That's what I can give you guys.
That goes a long way, and I appreciate your feedback. So,
I hope you paid attention to that, because he's speaking not about me. He's not speaking about Carrie. He's not speaking about Jared or Kelly. He's speaking about our organization. He's speaking about you and representation and your interaction with your different team members. That is what he's talking about. He is basically saying, listen, we feel your influence. And we feel the fact that people are truly your business. That is exactly what you're saying. Did anything else got your attention as you either listened to that video or read through the quote when I posted it? Does anything that caught your attention?
I like that he said that you have heart, because it is very important to do things with love. And I see that everyone here with the Preferred Compliance family, we do everything with love and with care. And you can not only see that, but you can feel that. And I think he felt that love and that care.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. That's a strange word. It's a word that is not used in the business world very often. And it's love and care and heart. I mean, but yeah, we've been speaking to this. It just blows my mind that he himself said it, because we've been speaking about the heart for about 3 years already, about the fact that a lot of what we do here at Preferred Compliance Solution comes from so deep inside the heart. And that's why so many organizations, and he even said it, they're not even trying in the phone call. Other organizations, he says, they're not even trying. We're nothing more than just a number to them. They're not even trying to gain or retain our business. But yeah, we're not trying to retain their business either. We're just simply trying to do the very best we can of what we know how to do best, and that is care for others, connect with others, see them as individuals rather than objects. And all that comes from very deep inside the heart. And hence why we're so selective of those that we bring to join our team here at Preferred Compliance. It's because we need to not only promote that, we need to protect that as well. So anything else that caught anybody else's attention?
That he said even when things aren't exactly going right, we still try to make them right. So I like that.
Yeah, I love that too. But yeah, and that's preferred. I mean, we never said to be perfect, but boy, will we go out of our way when something goes wrong to make sure that we do the very best we can, and that we're not just passing the buck. So Astrid, I think you were going to say something. Yeah.
Yes. I love the fact that he said that if we don't think that we know everything, and if we don't know something, we look for it and we are accountable for our mistakes. So that is something really important, because usually they will always say it's your fault, your fault. Oh, you didn't send me information, it's your fault, it's your fault. But he said, no, we take account, we're accountable for our mistakes, and we don't just say, oh yeah, it's my fault, sorry, but we do something about it. And that doesn't say, well, that says a lot about us as an organization, but also as people. You know, we're people. And I love that phrase, we're not perfect, but I'm perfectly trying. I use it not only here, I use it everywhere, because I perfectly try, but I'm not perfect and I make mistakes sometimes. And the fact that they know that, and that they acknowledge that, and that they value that, they also are seeing us people, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so this is our largest client. Guys, this is our largest client. We have with them more than 20,000 units, I think close to 25,000 units, and they're looking to accelerate that growth, not only double it, but they're thinking about tripling that growth. And the purpose of the phone call was him coming back and saying, hey, are you guys truly who you say you are? And this is who I think you are. And he was looking for my assurance and Jared's assurance that as we grow with them, that we'll be able to retain the same. This was him saying, hey, I'm going to grow. I want Preferred to be next to me as I grow, but I need for you to assure me that this is going to remain the same, that we're not going to change. And I assure him that we would. And I share with him a little bit of how we do it. I think it might have gone a little too long. He used the term later, I don't want you guys to be dancing on my desk. And I told him, well, I know how to, I love dancing on people's desks, so I'm not going to do it. I'll let Jared do it. So Jared is taking the lead on presenting how we would scale, is the term that is used with them, while still make sure that Preferred Compliance Solutions remains the organization that they know. So there's different ways that we do that. So this is a growth-oriented organization, and the biggest thing we have to grow here is a quote I shared with you guys before. But the bottom line is we cannot help someone grow unless they themselves have a desire to grow. So we can be all we want, an organization that wants to grow its team members, but ultimately it will require for the individual to have a desire to grow in order to be able to grow. And last week, Carrie did a beautiful job sharing with you a level 4 leaders guide to influence improvement at Preferred Compliance Solutions. And I hope you paid attention. Because I don't want it to come to you by surprise. She presented the 3 different areas: 1, to seek permission, increase production, and bring others to help. So basically what this guide that we provided our leadership team to influence improvement basically invites the supervisor to work on what we call the level 1 and level 2 of the 5 levels. Specifically level 2, which is the one where we seek permissions from others to lead them. To lead them to what? Well, lead them to improve on the different areas. And here I prefer it goes beyond just work, just personal development in general, within the 7 habits of highly effective people. Increase production, which it kind of goes over level 3 of the 5 levels, and being able to synergize together for the benefit of the organization, understanding that that will at the same time benefit us as individuals and as teams as we work together. And what Carrie explained in there, she explained a cycle. This is where the leadership team I prefer will assess where different individuals are. We'll use the 9-box grid. We use file audits for those to review files. We'll come after you and check after you. And then we're going to connect with you. And in the past, those connections might have taken place by email, by sending you an email and say, hey, this is what I found. You're doing a good job in this area, but yeah, you can improve in this area. But what happens with that is it doesn't allow for the type seeking permission type leadership to grow of the kind that we're hoping. So in the guide to influence improvement, what I invited our leadership team members to do is to connect with you directly, just to schedule a quick connect. It may be 10 minutes, it may be 15 minutes. I don't know. It may even be 5 minutes, whatever it is, to not only to maybe go over those areas that they think you're doing well, but at the same time, go over those areas that they think that you can improve. And then send you a summary of that phone call and inviting you in that email, following up by email, where they're providing you the report that they found, inviting you to reply back with an action plan. This will be my objectives for improvement. This is how I think you as my supervisor can help. I may be asking for additional training, it may be additional tools, it may be for increased connections. I don't know, you'll know best than anybody what you will need to be able to improve. And then to tell the supervisor, and this is how often I want you to check with me to see how I'm doing. You see 3 things that we're asking them to do. And then if we find that after a period of time that will be identified and you'll be aware of, if we find that there's no improvement, that we will bring others that could help. And the reason we need to bring others that can help is because we need to make sure that no one is inside the box. We need to make sure that neither the supervisor or you are inside the box, because from within the box, it's impossible to improve. So by bringing someone from the outside, it may be HR, or it may be one of the executive member or other in leadership positions in the company, by bringing them to help, then it allows us to improve. It allows someone in the outside to identify areas in which we can grow together. So again, I hope you can see this as something really good, but if we want to scale to the level that this one client was asking us to grow with them, we need to be able to have a plan in which we can help or influence improvement within our organization. Any questions or thoughts from that, from when Carrie presented it last week, or even now when I talked about it?
So last week when we were talking on the small groups and everything, people talked about working. I guess what I got was like working a little harder in creating those connections with our properties. And that was a goal I made myself. I said like, okay, I'm going to go out of my way to try to create better connections with my properties, and like just like making plans of like, you know, it's okay taking a little longer when they come in the chat and just ask them about their day, and like maybe make like a little joke or something, like show more interest so we can create that relationship. And this week, actually it was this morning, because I was running late because I had an appointment, and right when I was about to leave, I got a chat and I was like, oh no, I can't answer this right now. I was like, okay, I have this goal. I replied, and we went back and forth, and I was like, okay, but if I answer this, I'm not going to be in a rush because she deserves my full attention. So I did, and after I realized that she was really lost on something, and I was like, hey, look, like just shoot us an email and we can set up a meeting with Jody, and we will be more than happy to go over it with you. And she was really happy about that. I was like, oh, I thought you knew you could do that. And she's like, well, we've never, like maybe she's new, or I don't know. But then I don't know, I just felt good, and I realized like, well, maybe this is what I needed to learn. I need to learn that when I put more than just like, good morning, thank you for contacting us, like when I go the extra mile, when I'm out of the box, good things can happen and relationships can be built. So I don't know, that's what I wanted to share.
You know what I love about what you just shared, Jasmine, is that you said, I have this goal. So you were influenced by something greater than just what was happening in the moment. is the fact that you said it and you didn't share what goal that was, but whatever that goal is what influenced how you acted in the moment. Even though it was right on your face, it was a quadrant one thing, you were not necessarily reactive, but you acted based on a plan that you had already set in place, which was influenced by whatever goals you have set. So I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I know I shared this video with you guys, but there's a message that I want to get across with this video. So I'm going to share it one more time. This is for you to again, I think it'll be the 4th or 5th time that you see this video. And what I want you to, again, is, okay, what did I miss the times before? And why is Jose sharing it again with me today? So again, there's something that I want to make sure it gets across, and it may be different for different people, but I want to make sure that this video does get across our organization. See here, we're going to watch it again.
Leadership has nothing to do with rank, right? I know many people who sit at the highest levels of organizations who are not leaders. We do as they tell us because they have authority over us, but we would never choose to follow them. And yet I know many people with no formal rank and no formal authority who've made the choice to look after the person to the left of them and made the choice to look after the person to the right of them, and we would follow them anywhere. We call you leader, not because you're at the top. We call you leader because you went first, because you took the risk to head towards the danger. You took the risk to express uncertainty. You took the risk to ask for help. That's why you earn the rank of leader, because you literally led by the behavior. You led by example. When this person says, my leader's not taking care of our team, I get that. The question is, who's taking care of the team? You can be the leader you wish you had. It does not require rank or authority to pick up the phone and say, how are you? And it can come from anywhere inside the organization where one person may take responsibility to take care of the mental health of everybody. Congratulations, you are a leader. What's also fundamental is that whoever that person is must remember to act with others. In other words, don't just make this unilateral decision that I'm going to just go take care of everybody because my leader is ineffective, blah, 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 blah. One, talk to colleagues and say, hey, I think what I need to do, I think our team is struggling. I think I'm going to reach out to everybody. Make sure someone knows what you're doing. Leadership is a team sport because things will go wrong. Things will get difficult. Some people may not appreciate it. You got to have somebody that you can call up and be like, ugh, what do I do? Also, don't assume the leader's ineffective. Use the same empathy that we expect down the chain of command, up the chain of command. Maybe my leader is stuck. Maybe my leader is confused. Maybe my leader is stressed out of their mind. Maybe my leader is dealing with trauma. We have no idea what's going on in that person's private life. Maybe my leader's got marital issues or struggling with their kids. Like, we don't know. And so sometimes part of that check-in is to call our boss and, hey boss, you were really hard on us on the Zoom call the other day. I just wanted to see, are you okay? And giving a leader a safe space might be everything. And also, don't expect that you're going to get the reaction you want immediately. Some people are reactors. Some people need time to think and to process before they react. So we can't expect people to react the way we would react. And so if somebody, now let's take the other scenario, which is there actually is a leader who is completely ineffective. And this is why I talk about telling people what you're doing. I'm going to chicken on everybody because you could ruffle the feathers of a big ego, right? You could ruffle the feathers of someone who's insecure. And so it could come down on you. This is the risk of leadership. Remember, leadership comes with risk, which is if you're willing to stick your neck out, even if it's to take care of your folks, it can sometimes backfire and hurt. The question is it worth it? And for most people who want to be a leader, that risk is worth it. This is why we so admire leaders who put their careers on the line to do the right thing, because they were willing to risk it. And so you could risk getting in trouble. You could risk getting yelled at. You could risk being told, stop doing my job. All true. And if you're alone in that, you're going to have to bear that stress. If some other people know what you're doing, you'll find comfort and security and confidence just knowing that there are other people who have your back as well. So make sure you got a leadership buddy. Leadership is a team sport. You would never go scuba diving by yourself. It's too dangerous. Don't try and be a leader by yourself. Too dangerous, too difficult. And like I said, sometimes leading up is what's necessary. We can actually help our leaders be better leaders because we're going to demonstrate the behavior. We're going to express empathy. We're going to see how they are. We're going to support them. Hey, boss, I got your back, whatever you need. I'm here. If you want to vent, I'm here. And give them a safe space also. It goes up and down.
I like what he said about supporting our leaders. Because sometimes we're like, well, we just do what they say, and which is what we should do because they're our leaders. But also, like, he gave me another viewpoint, which is to give them that support, that help. Hi, hey, how can I help you? Or how is your day going? Is there something that I can do to support you, to support your leadership? And just that help that you can give that person, even if they're your leader, you can give them that help and that support, which is something I didn't think of until today.
What kind of stuck out to me was modeling the behavior, and not necessarily within our team, but like with our leasing agents. Because I have one in particular that every time I see a correction or a file pop up for them, I immediately get in the box because they are awful. And I've had them for 2 years, and just, it's a different, I don't know, it's a new leasing agent. And I quickly realized in the beginning of the summer, or in April when they hired her, she had absolutely no experience. And I never took into consideration her side, which somebody obviously had to have been like, hey, you've never worked in leasing. I've got a great job for you. You'll love it. And this person knew nothing. So I was just like, I never took into consideration her experience, only mine, that I was inconvenienced because the files are awful. I never took into consideration like really what she was going through on her end, because the files are hard for me. And her knowing nothing, I can only imagine like how bad the files are for her having to live it. So, this, especially like last week and this week, I've just taken more time to really, even though I spell out my corrections, like pictures and diagrams, and I'm like, okay, they're wrapping up by the 30th, they're done. So let's help her get like this last push, like really baby it, highlight different colors. Like I'm going the extra mile to help her out, because I'm like, I would want that for myself. I want her leaving and her new management company be like, well, that was a great experience, so later on down the road, they could be like, well, let's go to preferred, they're not with us, so let's go to preferred. But it's a lot, because it's just like, I immediately go in the box, but I'm like, no, let's lead her and help her and model the behavior I would want someone giving to me if I was in her situation. But it takes a lot, because it's very, very annoying.
Yeah. No, good job. No, great, Bernie. That's a good example right there on how it goes the other way. So awesome. I love Jasony's and Bernie's examples are both really good examples of taking risks. I mean, Jasony, it was right in the moment that she took that risk. Bernie's, it was over time in making that commitment of I'm going to risk time of myself and energy, emotional stress, help this leasing consultant to then find out that the company sold, that the property sold to a new management company, and they're not going to be around anyway. See, that's a risk that she took. And even then, she took the risk of saying, I'm going to continue in this path because who knows, maybe the new management company decides to then come and work with preferred compliance. See, that's when I hear the term risk, those are the type of risks that I see as we relate to the properties, as we interact with the properties.
So I was talking to Paige this morning and I said, I was scared to do something and I'm like, oh, I'm afraid, but let's do it. And I don't say that for myself. That's what I get from my team when we get new things or new projects or whatever is new. I feel like, okay, we're scared, but let's dive in. And for me, when I look at them, they really inspire me. And at some point, I follow them. I feel like I follow them more than they follow me, because sometimes I'd be like, oh, what am I doing here, for them? And I try to guide them and lead them and, all of this things that we're supposed to do. But in the end, I feel that my team is kind of my guide, and I really take a lot from them because they do take those risks. And yes, sometimes we're afraid and we're scared of doing things and jumping off the cliff, like Jasmine said. And it's a really big deal because we really know nothing about compliance and we know nothing about this whole world, and it doesn't exist here. But we still do it, and we're very eager to learn and just go that extra mile and take that extra step, and because it is something that we believe in, and it's something that I'm very inspired by from everyone on my team, that they do it from the heart.
Awesome. Thank you, Sylvia. Sam T, I think you were going to say something.
He said to have a leadership buddy. I think that's so cool and so good, just because I was thinking about the team that I'm on. I'm on Jody's team, and how constantly it's never just sorry, pal. It's never just one person taking it over. Like, each of us are constantly relying on each other in almost like a circle pattern of, I'll reach out to Sylvia, who will reach out to Jody, or reach out to Flo, or whatever pattern it may be, of like, hey, I have a question about whatever this is. Can you help me with this? And that we're able to rely on each other and give the others experiences of leadership.
I love that. Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Going back to the 5 levels of leadership, today we were going to kind of review level number 5. And level number 5, there's a lot in the book, but there's very little out there. And the reason for that is because rare is the leader who reaches level 5, which is the pinnacle. It is very rare those who are actually able, and it's normally over a lifetime rather than one single event that will take him to level 5. Here's some quotes from it, and Chris, if you can read the first one for us, this one on the screen.
Not only is leadership at this level a culmination of leading well on the other 4 levels, but it also requires both a high degree of skill and some amount of natural leadership ability. It takes a lot to be able to develop other leaders so that they reach level 4. That's what level 5 leaders do.
Yeah, and I think this picture here represents very well in the basketball, those who like basketball. In the basketball world, it represents level 5 type leadership very, very well. How about this quote right here? Let's see, Christina, can you read this one?
The individuals who reach level 5 lead so well for so long that they create a legacy of leadership in the organization they serve.
And I think we know that about Steve Jobs. Where he failed before, he came back and stayed long enough to be able to change not only the organization, but change, leave a legacy for the entire world. I mean, it changed the way we interact and connect with each other. His vision and the purpose and the mission that he decided to live for the rest of his life. Level 5 type leaders make room for others at the top. If you notice, our organization is we have sought to bring others in our organization. We have sought to see how we can best make room at the top for others to grow within our organization. We're having conversations right now where we anticipate that there'll be another structural change in our organization in 2022. But then we will also look forward to that accelerated growth that we're going to get from this one client of ours that is looking to triple the size of his company. And then all others that will come just from natural growth as we do different type of efforts. We're in the process of finishing Certify Me, which will be that application Jared talked a little bit about, and Gantt. Updating NextGen and the Rincon calculator. We're also in the process of developing an app. We don't have a name for it yet. I'm calling it In Compliance. It'll be an app that will bring the entire application process status to the hands of the leasing consultants and those that are interested in knowing, and also all the other resources that we have. There's nothing alike in the industry. There's no apps for affordable housing in the industry of the kind that we're about to release. So that all of those things will create momentum in our company that will require that we're continually making room at what other people call the top, that we make room for leadership development. Level 5 leaders continually mental potential level 5 leaders. That's something that we're really gonna prefer doing. They create an inner circle that will keep them grounded. I actually sent an email the other day. I was interacting with some of the leaders in our company, and I shared that. I shared what the need that I have to stay grounded, or what I look for. I'm trying to find the page that went over that. And it says, so level 5 leaders, they create this inner circle That inner circle is not necessarily a circle of safety. I don't want you to get confused that inner circle to the circle of safety that we talked about before. But this inner circle is one where I, as the founder of the organization and CEO, founded myself personally the need to create this inner circle where I ask this group to love me unconditionally and to represent me according to my values, to watch my back, complement my weaknesses, continue to grow, fulfill their responsibilities with excellence, to be honest with me, to tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear, to help me carry the weight, not be an extra weight. I love that one. But to help carry the weight, not to be extra weight, to work together as teams, to add value to me, and to enjoy the journey with me. Normally, inner circle type people become really close friends. And I'm not sure, I think it was Sam T that was describing that inner circle within her team that they have created. And they have similar expectations from each other. Those are level 5 type behaviors and skills that she was describing when she was talking. So level 5 leaders do things for the organization that only level 5 leaders can do. They plan their succession. We've been talking about our succession plan for 2 years already, and they leave a positive legacy, which is, when we were talking about Steve Jobs a minute ago, they leave a positive legacy. So their influence carries on even after they leave the organization.
I have a question, Jose.
Yeah, please.
What would you say would be the best characteristic of a level 5 leader?
The best characteristic of a level 5 leader is that they seek to influence beyond their organization. Meaning they reach a level in their life where they want to contribute to their community. They want to contribute to those that they interact with outside their organization. They want to influence the world, not just their organization. That is the greatest characteristic of a level 5 leader.
Okay, thank you.
So level 5 type leaders, because of the position that they have grow into, they get exposed to many things outside their organization. They have more time to be able to influence other things as well. They seek for those opportunities where they can carry forward the culture that has influenced success within their organization, whatever that organization may be, that they want to influence that outside their organization in those things that matter to them most. Level type 5 leaders are very successful within the 7 habits of highly effective people. So again, going back, it goes beyond just themselves and the organization. It influences everything that they get involved with, and they seek to get involved with more. All right, so becoming a level 4 leader is a choice. Level 1, 2, 3, and 4, they are a choice. Although level 1 could be awarded to an individual. So you've been awarded, you've been gifted a level 1 leadership in our organization. All of you have. I've said it over and over again that leadership is not about position, titles, or ranks, and that we are all leaders within our organization, especially to those that we serve, our clients, our people. So, but level 2, 3 do require a level of choice. You have to make certain choices. What's the word I'm looking for? We've used this word before, and it's strategic, intentional. That's the word I'm looking for. You are very intentional about becoming a level 4 type leader. Now, level 5 requires not only choice and skills, it requires a natural leadership ability as well. So hence why it is rare those that reach level 5 type leadership. Again, here at Preferred Compliance, we demand, I guess I'm going to use that term, we demand level 4 type leadership is the kind that we expect here at Preferred Compliance. I'm going to show you a video that I'm hoping will be very influential to you as a summary, as a review of everything that we learned with part 1, part 2, and a little bit of part 3 today. As a review of everything we learned in the past 3 sessions. And then I'm going to break you into rooms. And before that, I'll I'll give you what I want you to, the question I want you to answer.
Do you want to lead your team to success? Do you want a promotion? Are you tired of people ignoring you? Or perhaps you just want more trust and respect? First, what does it mean to be a leader? Well, in a nutshell, leadership simply means influence. So if you want to increase your leadership ability, then you need to increase your influence ability. Now, according to John Maxwell, there are 5 levels of leadership, and the level you'll be in will be different with everyone. So let's get started. The first level is position. In this stage, people follow you only because of your title. You are given a position, usually by the company, and you're a leader only because you're the boss, a manager, or an experienced colleague. Everyone has had a boss or perhaps a leader in some sports team or activity who you had to follow but wasn't a good leader. You hate it because you see farther than what they see or know more than what they know. It's really not any fun. Now, it's not bad to be in the first level. It's the foundation, and everybody starts here. You just probably don't want to stay here, and you want to build on top of this. Now, the second level is permission. This level can be summarized by the word relationship. People follow you not because they have to, but because they want to. If people like you, they will go the second mile with you. They may come in early for a project or stay later because they have a relationship with you. So you need to work hard to improve your people skill. You need to touch a heart before you touch a hand. Remember, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Now, this is a nice stage to be in, but we can do better. For the third level is the production level. Do you walk the walk, or do you just talk the talk? Because in this stage, people follow you because you produce results for your organization or team. Think of Steve Jobs returning to Apple and increasing profits in their bottom line. Now, it's important to remember that while you're in level 3, you are still in levels 1 and 2. You can't just neglect those because you started producing results. Otherwise, you'll fall down in leadership level. Now, a lot of companies stop at level 3. They think increasing profits and morale is all they need. But there's an even higher level. And that is level 4, which is the people development level. In this level, you are creating other leaders. Here, you are now reproducing yourself again and again. You all know the saying, if you give people fish, you feed them for just a day. Teach people how to fish, and you feed them for life. In this level, people follow you because of what you've done for them. You've helped them improve their influence abilities and helped them reach their goals. And because of that, they'll credit all their accomplishments and success to you. And as a result, you will exponentially increase your influence. Now remember, in level 2, you should like each other. In level 4, you're having success and experience together. Have stories to tell, have victories and battles that you've won together. You should really try to aim and reach this level. And it's a fantastic level. But it's not actually the top. See, level 1 is given to you by the company. But levels 2, 3, and 4, you must earn. And if you do the 3 correctly, that is relate with people, produce results, and if you develop others, level 5 will be given to you by the people. And level 5 is called personhood, which can be summarized by the word respect. People follow you because of who you are and what you represent. You have done it with so many people for so long that you find people are lifting you on their shoulders, almost like what a team does for a winning coach after they win a championship. So do the first 4 levels well, and level 5 is automatic. Now here are 7 points to note about these 5 steps. The higher you go, the longer it takes to get to the next step. So if it takes you 2 months to get to level 2, it might take you 6 months to get to level 3, maybe 2 years to get to level 4, and level 5 might take you 5 years. Number 2, the higher you go, the higher the level of commitment. And this goes both ways, your commitment to the people and theirs to you. Number 3, the higher you go, the easier it is to lead. Number 4, the higher you go, the greater your success. You exponentially become more profitable. Number 5 is to remember you never leave a level below. You build on it. If you ignore a level you produced, it will pull you down. Number 6, as a leader, you won't be on the same level with all your people. If you have 100 people in your company, they all start at level 1. When you go to level 2, there will be some who stay at level 1. So maybe 80 of them will go with you to level 2. Level 3, 60 people will come with you. The higher you go, the less people you'll usually have with you. So number 7, you must work to carry other leaders with you up the steps. You have to take your key leaders, your inner circle, up with you. So to summarize, remember, relate to people, produce, and develop. These are your 3 goals. It's the blueprint. And before you know it, you'll have reached the pinnacle of leadership. And even better, you'll have helped others reach it too.
And you can share whatever you want. What from this video caught your attention? What did you learn that you didn't know before within the time that we spent together? But then I also want you to answer this question. How do we become and remain a level 4 type organization? Now remember, only when you do the 4 levels well, will number 5 automatically come. But doing level 2, 3, and 4 are a choice, and something that happens intentionally. So how can we become and remain a level type 4 organization is my biggest question. But you're welcome to share anything else that caught your attention. Tell me about your meeting. Who would like to go first? Anybody?
I can go. Something that we talked about was pretty much doing it internally and externally, the people development. So internally, I talked about how Megan is always constantly developing me, helping me grow. So if she's not here, I can always step up and be that person if my team needs me to be, or even Amanda, Chris, any of us, like she's grooming us so that should she not be here or is inundated with something, we have her back 100%. But externally with the sites, that comes with building them and helping them. Like Yesenia and Bernie were talking about earlier, just going that extra mile to actually break it down and help them understand, because sometimes the sites just think, oh, they're compliance, they know it all, so I'm going to put this correction just because they said to do it, without actually understanding the reasoning behind it. So if you take that extra step to maybe put in a paragraph or shoot them an email explaining or scheduling some type of meeting or something, so that down the line, you know, they actually genuinely understand and can even possibly break it down to the applicant or resident as to why this is, because we all know the applicants, residents don't understand the tax credit world. So they're like, why do you need my whole life story right now? So if they break it down to them, that could also help them. So it's kind of just a chain of doing that. And it starts with us making that connection and being willing to do that for them.
I love that. I also love the idea of not pretending that we know everything, but if anything, that we're hoping that we're collaborating through the effort together, not just thinking that it's on their end alone and that we're just here to direct alone, but that we're in this together. So excellent. Anybody else?
I would like to go.
Go ahead, Julia.
What we discussed in becoming and also remaining a level 4 is that it takes dedication and consistency and effort on all of the levels at all times to be able to maintain that level. You can't just get, to level 2 and then you get to level 3 and you forget about level 2, because like Paige mentioned, it's like juggling. If you take your eye off of one ball, then they all fall. And it's all about consistency and effort for all of the levels in order to remain that level 4 type organization, and to proceed and always approach with love and support, instead of a finger pointing, criticizing. If you approach with love and support, then you are more than likely to get a positive response and be able to proceed and address any issues right off the bat, and be able to grow forward together in an organization for each other as a team, and also for our clients.
That's beautiful, Julia. Thank you. I love that, especially it puts a level of responsibility on our leadership team to make sure that we're constantly developing systems and processes and developing the opportunities that will allow us to assess that we're truly taking care of all the different levels, that is supporting that we're constantly there. And also something that came to mind is when you say loving, sometimes I don't even love myself, and yet you're asking me to love others. Being able to bring others to help that might be able to be in a better position than I am at any given time is okay. It is normal. In fact, it should be expected on any part of our lives. It's always good to bring someone else, who will be maybe a crying shoulder or just a little bit of support. It goes in line with that, creating that inner circle that will keep us grounded at certain points as we seek to be level 4 and level 5 leaders to others within and outside the organization. So excellent. Who else would like to go?
Something I liked and I realized throughout all this meeting is that leaders, especially here in Preferred, I've learned that they're not just our leaders, but they're our friends. And I just have felt that support and that friendship from all our leaders and all that care. And I'm just really thankful to all of you.
I'll jump in. So as a whole, we took a little bit from everybody. You have to have commitment, take the tools and apply it to all areas of your life, meaning like the books that we're given to read, these meetings, our one-on-ones with our managers. So you have to really commit to what is being given to you and apply it to all areas, because that's how you essentially live it and walk the walk. Something that stuck out to Chris, people care about how much you care and know. So we know that our leaders don't expect perfection, and it allows us to be able to make mistakes without being fearful. And that way we can live and really walk the walk and fix ourselves and show our clients, hey, it's okay to say sorry, we're human, and thank you for allowing us to make those mistakes and to be able to fix them. And Kathy wants to build relationships and help her team grow and be a servant leader. And that way together we can all reach our goals as a team and as a company. And then one of the things that stuck out to me was that you need to touch a heart before you touch a hand. And I mentioned in our meeting that I said, I don't always love the work. None of us do. It's a job. I was just like, but I do love the people I work for. And I do love Jose and the company and the culture he's created. So when people that don't know me ask about my job, that's what I tell them. They're like, well, that sounds like, because they don't know what we do. So I'm like, well, that sounds boring. And I'm like, well, I don't always love the work, but I love who I work for. So good luck trying to get me away from it. And that's something Laisha said too. She wants to be that leader that people want to follow. And, and that stuck out to her too. The fact that, we love who we work for and our teammates, and that helps promote, I think that takes us farther than just an average, work culture that people typically see. So
I loved when you talked about working together as a team to achieve great things. I actually wrote down here when in the video I show the people celebrating victory together, I wrote down asset management. I mean, if we see any team in our company celebrate victory in a way that everyone's been able to see it, it's been the asset management team in the past 12 months, is where they've been level 3 type leaders. They have produced together as they work together, and they've celebrated that and shared that across the company. And I love that. So I'll make myself a little note of that. So thank you for sharing that, Bernie, because it reminded me to share that. So, and I also made note of the touch your heart before touching a hand. Again, it goes back to speaking to and from the heart. I think in new employee orientation, I share with people all the time, I want our interaction to be more from the heart. And I find that when I do them one-on-one, our new employee orientations, we speak and reach more to the heart than we do when there's more than one person. I wish I could do it one-on-one, to be honest with you, because for whatever reason, I feel I've shed tears with people as we do one-on-one new employee orientation, because we're able to touch each other's hearts in the process. So it is okay to do that. So as weird as I may seem or hear to some people. Excellent. Well, we got some good pointers there. We'll pay attention to those. And I hope you do influence your team meetings when they have discussions with this, that you be open to share. So there's 3 things that we'll share, as in that should be our goal as we seek to be, to grow within the 5 levels. The first one is to relate to others, produce together, and to develop others that could also grow within the 5 levels. We have a lot of people that join our company that have incredible leadership skills, and we want to help them to grow within the organization, how to implement those leadership skills within the organization. And I am so happy that I found a picture that could represent those 3, the relate, produce, and develop. As well. And I shared this picture with you so that you have it. You can print it if you want. I think you guys know that I took this journey to the Himalayas with Abraham several years ago. Then I did one to the Patagonias with Jacqueline. I'm about to do one with Samuel, who just turned 12. And I promised him that at 12 years old, we'll do one trip like this. So the ultimate leader is one who is willing to develop people to the point that they eventually surpass him or her in knowledge and ability. And I think that's what we all parents want for our children. What parent doesn't want their children to have a better life, is what we call it, than the one we had, to have better opportunities than the one that we had, to be able to interact even with ourselves and the relationship that we have with each other to be better or best than the one that we had growing up. All of us who have children have seen our children at some point and have a very inner deep desire for them to have a better life, just to put it in general terms, a better life than the one we had. And that is the ultimate leader, is the one who wants to develop people within their organization, whether it be a leasing consultant like Bernie was explaining, or whether it be someone that I interact with, or whether it be me helping my supervisor, is for me to have that desire for them to have greater knowledge, and greater ability than the one that I personally have. I can tell you that I can pinpoint when in my life I realized this principle. And when I started my journey personally to be able to do that. And it has been a joyful journey. I love those within the organization that form that inner circle. Again, it's not a circle of safety, because our circle of safety is all about, but that inner circle of people that help, watch my back, which when I mean my back, I mean the organization, that help make sure that we protect this culture that we've developed here at Preferred Compliance Solution, promote it, and then help others grow within that as well. So I am really proud of those that I work really close with. I want to make sure that that as we move forward, that we are all growing within these different 5 levels. Don't want to just issue it as an invitation, but what I want to do is I want to make sure that we're performing, creating the opportunities that will allow you to interact with others within the organization. But when we fall short of creating those opportunities, or when we're not creating them fast enough for you, that you will take the initiative to connect and interact with others, so that you don't find yourself short of those opportunities to grow. So this is the conclusion of part 3 of the 5 levels of leadership.